Hi everyone, welcome back to Daytona Office Hours, where as every week we'll take a look at what happened during the past 7 days and what we have coming up. So since last week we had um, just one small release, actually two releases, one bigger, one smaller. The bigger release was in regards to Sandbox naming. So now Sandboxes support custom names defined by the user, and they are organization unique. So this means that you can only have one sandbox with a certain name per organization. This helps out use cases that, for example, have a requirement for one sandbox per agent, and just want to, let's say, deduplicate that stuff and kind of reduce complexities on the implementation side. This also was reflected in the dashboard itself, so you can now see the name of the sandbox. By default, the name will be just the ID of the sandbox that is auto-generated by Daytona, but you can also define it yourself through our SDK. And then the second release, just a patch, which is a fix for the TypeScript and Python SDK to list sandboxes by labels, just a small regression introduced by a PR before. We also updated the GitHub issue templates just to use GitHub's issue types that are integrated into GitHub now, just to make it a bit more visible and clear. And we also bumped the Postgres version of our development environment, so of our compose files as well. This was required by the name migration as well. That's it from the releases over the past 7 days, and maybe let's take a look at a couple of PRs that we have coming up. So one is by our colleague Mirko to remove the legacy proxy URL and runner domains from user-facing DTOs. This is just a minor removal of a property that is not really used in any object returned from the API. It was used before, especially during our legacy proxy era, which has been over for a few months, and now we just want to clean the DTOs up, and it will also make it a fraction of a second faster to return these entities. Then we also have one fix for the daemon to kill child processes when deleting sessions. This is a fix for session management through the SDK to just remove any orphan processes when killing the session. A big refactor was made by Goran to audit log publishing. So now we will, with this PR, we will support a more robust infrastructure for publishing audit logs and querying them as well. This will remove any potential bottlenecks when it comes to scaling the Daytona service. Also, just a small fix for Sandbox action auditing. This will definitely land on the next release as well. And probably worth mentioning for our developers, our colleague Mirko, which handles most of the Python stuff around Daytona, just made it easier to use poetry inside the development container or dev container. Now you don't have to load the virtual environment. It will just come preloaded into the global environment every time. Regarding the issues, you might have seen some new issues, mostly popping up by our solution engineer, Nicola. There are issues about quality of life, like updating existing snapshots, which we marked for discussion because there's a lot of moving parts to discuss right here. Also, something that has been on our users' radar for a while is to improve the API documentation. The Swagger docs, and as well in the documentation side, to include all typings of every single request in the docs. Also, something that we are discussing for a while right now and still haven't implemented it, but it's for refreshing sandbox activity when using our proxy. This will just enable the sandboxes to remain alive when you're using any HTTP port or WebSocket. This is definitely on our priority list right now. And also something that should be up for discussion is graceful sandbox termination hook, basically allowing users to define what will happen when a sandbox is stopped or terminated. This is probably the easiest to implement with just a signal sent to the process when the sandbox should be stopped. And also one user noticed that you can't use JetBrains Gateway SSH with our sandboxes, even though, for example, VS Code works out of the box. So this is something that we need to investigate, definitely. I think that's it, mostly what's worth mentioning from this week. If, as always, if there's any questions you need to ask, you can reach out to us via email, Slack, Twitter, or LinkedIn. We are in the middle of a launch week as well. The launch week is focused mostly on compliance and a few interesting SDK features that were coming along for a while right now. And that's basically it from this office hours. As always, see you next week. Thank you.